MMA boxing talk here. I just wanted to talk about Anderson Silva. Yesterday, he was on the MMA Hour for about 40 minutes. I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I did catch was, you know, he gave the UFC an ultimatum. I'm fighting Yoel Romero at UFC 212, or I'm retiring. Kind of came out of left field. Um, I wasn't watching the MMA Hour live. I found out after the fact, but I mean, kind of ridiculous statements coming from Anderson Silva. Got to be quite honest. I know he's a legend of the sport, but let's be realistic here. He's 42 years old. He hasn't won a fight in 5 years. I mean, he got the win over Derek Brunson, but personally, that was an easy fight to score for Derek Brunson. He won that unanimous decision. And just to make things more fishy, not one judge gave the fight to Brunson. I mean, when you look at the stats, a lot of fights, you can't really tell who won by the stats. Well, this one is the closest you're going to get to being able to figure out who won just by looking at the stats. Derek Brunson had 3 minutes and 52 seconds of control time, almost 4 minutes in a 15-minute fight of control time. That's pretty substantial. Total strikes, 118 to Anderson's 54. So he had 64 more significant strikes, and he was 4% more accurate with his total strikes. Significant strikes, he had 54, and Silva had 43. Takedowns, he had 2 takedowns. So I mean, 2 takedowns, being the more active fighter, landing more punches, and getting 3 minutes and 52 seconds of control time, you win that fight. And the fact that not one judge gave it to Brunson just shows that they wanted Silva to win. It is what it is. I hope they don't give Silva this shot. I mean, he really doesn't deserve it whatsoever. Um, he really doesn't. I mean, even if you consider him beating Derek Brunson, it wasn't even a good win. Derek Brunson was on a tear. He no, he had just gotten knocked out by Whitaker. But anyway, before that he was on a tear, and Silva did not look that great against Brunson. So just one win over Derek Brunson doesn't count well, he wants an interim title shot, sorry, against Yoel Romero. But I mean, what was wrong with Luke Rockhold? I thought they a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, the UFC was offering him Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold got on Instagram, social media, talking about him signing the contract, waiting for Silva. You better not duck me, Silva. But now he wants Yoel. I don't get it. Maybe he likes the matchup more against Yoel than against Luke Rockhold. That one surprised me. I'm not sure, but it's kind of ridiculous. Um, but he wants to fight at. Hopefully, they can find him a decent fight. But he says he's going to retire if he doesn't get it. So we know how that works. Giving the UFC an ultimatum, he might end up just retiring. I mean, he is 42. I hope he does. To be honest, he had a great career. He's only ruining it at this point, in my eyes. Not ruining his career, but just not ending on a good note. Let's put it that way. Um, so I think best for him is just to retire. That's just my opinion. I mean, but he does not deserve an interim title shot against Yoel Romero. I mean, you got to give it to a guy like Whitaker before Anderson Silva. You got to give it to a guy like Gegard Mousasi. Those two guys, Mousasi and Whitaker, deserve it way before Anderson Silva. And I think even Luke Rockhold, coming off of a loss last year to Bisping, he deserves it more than Anderson Silva. We all know that Bisping won that fight because Luke Rockhold did not take him seriously. And maybe Bisping could have beat him if Luke Rockhold was giving it his all in there, focused, not being overconfident. Maybe Bisping still would have won, but never in that fashion, and I still don't think Bisping will beat Rockhold ever again. You know what I mean? They probably won't fight. Who knows? Anyway, it is what it is. GSP and Bisping, they're continuing to fuck up this division. GSP mainly. Um, it's really too bad, But it is what it is, This is what the sport's turning into. The guys that like the Conor McGregors, guys like GSP who were legends, they can do what they want, I guess. So maybe the UFC will grant Anderson Silva, because he is a legend just as much as George St. Pierre is, and they're giving him a title shot. Why can't they give Anderson Silva an interim title shot? And to be honest, like, it would be a good fight. I'm not shitting on the fight, because I'm only shitting on the fight because Anderson Silva doesn't deserve it. But what's deserve anymore anyway, right? I mean, does GSP really deserve to fight Michael Bisping ahead of Yoel Romero, Whitaker, Musasi, Rockhold? No. Money talks, and just the way it is. So this has turned into a rant. I mean, but it's disappointing. But don't get me wrong, Silva and Yoel Romero, I'll be excited to watch that fight, like, for sure. But it just kind of rubs me the wrong way, of course. That's it for this one, though. If you like the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMA Boxing Talk 1. Peace.